welcome to today's Wellness Wednesday video. Today we're going to look at Janu Sirsasana C, a position in the primary series of the Ashtanga Yoga sequence, and some different ways to get into the posture and things to be careful about. So Janu is the knee and Shirsha is the head, like Sirsasana, headstand. And so Janu Sirsasana A, we know, is actually knee to head pose, so the head should be down. B is where we're sitting up on the heel. The heel comes on the perineum between the sit bones and between the anus and the external genitals. And C is a little bit tricky because we have to lift the heel up and you need a great deal of external rotation through the hip. And so remember, this is really about opening the hip as we go forward. And so you shouldn't feel any pulling or pressure on the knee. So one modification I like to offer students is to keep the ankle flexed and just place the hands underneath the heel and underneath the calf, like you're about to serve your foot up for dinner. And you can just sit up nice and tall here. So you don't want to have a rounded back like you're collapsing. You want to really lift the heart, keep the shoulders and the heart open, and just keep lifting the heel up and letting the leg relax and release in the hip so that the knee is dropping down a little. You don't want to force it, but you just can kind of sit here and open the hip this way. Another way that you can start to open this position is to reach for the toes. You slide the hand under the leg and then you're going to pull the toes back. So the same hand of the foot that's up reaches under, and you're going to pull the toes back and keep the heel lifted at the same time. And again, you want to keep the heart open, shoulders broad, so that you're sitting right up on your sit bones. If this feels okay and this modification's not putting pressure on the knee, then you can start to take the foot down. Now, once you bring the toes down, there's a little something that you might need to do, and that is to spread the toes out. So you can just even take a finger and kind of spread them out. Now the foot might be at about a 45-degree angle with a lot of pressure on the baby toe side of the foot. So you could lift yourself up just a tiny bit to bring a little bit of weight forward, or you can bring your thumbs to the heel and just help to press the heel forward a little bit. And this again might be a nice place to stay. You don't necessarily need to fold forward here. And whatever you do, don't push the knee down. The knee can just be held where it is nicely. If you want to start to fold forward, you can keep your hands here holding the heel up and just start to lean forward on a diagonal. If you can, really pull the toes back and keep that heel coming forward and shift a little weight right into the big toe mound so that it's coming into the front part of the toes. Then of course you might be able to move into the full posture. Just be careful of the knee. Sometimes there can be a lot of pressure on the knee, and you want to be grounded and rooted through both sit bones. So you don't want one sit bone hanging up off the floor as you're going forward. You want both sit bones to be rooted so that then you're lengthening forward equally. Another interesting way to get into this posture is, I've seen this where you're keeping the knee in its natural range of motion instead of opening the leg out to the side. You're going to just pull the heel back towards your sit bone and come onto a little demi point, so a half pointed position, and then you're going to lift up like you're on a high heel shoe or something. Yeah. So you're lifting up like this with the knee straight into the chest, and then you're just going to turn and open the knee out to the side, keeping the heel forward. And so that's actually another really safe and nice way to enter into the posture. And again, you might need to come down and kind of pull the toes out and spread them out. And even if the foot isn't quite all the way up at a 90-degree angle like that, even if it's back here at 45 degrees, you can still start to fold forward and get some benefit from this posture. The other option is if it's a really painful position and you need a little extra boost, is to use a block. And I would recommend sitting up on the block so that both sit bones, if you can be up on the block. And then you can try that same thing. So pulling the heel back and then just turning the heel forward as you open the knee out to the side and just sit up nice and tall. And here you might not go forward quite so much. You might just lean a little bit, but you're at least getting this stretch through the ankle, through the toes. And the reason why you don't want to lean too much, you don't have so much control because you're lifted off the floor. So maybe just a little bit, putting a bit of pressure into the foot. And also the knee is quite high off the floor when you're up on the block. So again, it's a little less supported that way. It's a little bit more precarious position for the knee. So be really mindful if you do decide to use the block. And really, most people don't need a block. You can use this option sitting, pulling the toe back, or holding the foot up, or just getting the baby toes down and starting to reach forward, or maybe lifting yourself up. And even holding yourself here can be a viable option where you're just kind of lifting and holding yourself and not going forward at all. But again, getting this nice deep stretch through the metatarsal, all through the sole of the foot as well in the arch. So I hope you find those tips helpful for getting into Janu Sirsasana C position. And remember to be mindful when you're coming out of the position also. So going in and out of these a little bit more complicated postures, especially when it comes to knees and when the knee's in a very deeply flexed position and the ankle's a little bit twisted, it's going to put a little bit of twist into the knee as well. You want to just be really mindful going both in and out of the postures. So I hope that inspires you to get on your mat and give it a try and keep practicing. And thank you so much. And just a quick reminder, if you'd like to join me in the mornings for some yoga Monday to Wednesday for the next 3 weeks of December before Christmas, I will be teaching online yoga classes. They're at 9 a.m. Eastern time, and they're about an hour and 15 minutes. And we practice many of these postures, some hip opening, some shoulder opening, a few different types of yoga classes, not just strictly Ashtanga based. So if you're looking for something a little different, that you'd like to explore some different ranges of motion in your body, check out my website, harmonyslater.com, and the classes are free or by donation if you have the means to donate. Thanks.